Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Manoj Singh Rana and with me is Aditi Lumba with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses the annual meeting of Confederation of Indian Industry, says major responsibility for success of self-reliant India lies on industries. Prime Minister asserts abolition of retrospective taxation will strengthen trust between government and industry. Both houses of parliament adjourn sine die. Monsoon session comes to an end. Speaker Om Birla says proceedings of lower house did not take place as per expectations in this session. Parliament passes Constitution 127th Amendment Bill allowing the states and union territories to prepare their own list of OBCs. Also passes General Insurance Business Nationalisation Amendment Bill. In Himachal Pradesh, 10 people killed, 13 rescued, and at least 25 people feared trapped in a landslide in Kinnaur district. Relief and rescue operations are in full swing in flood-affected areas of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. Prime Minister takes stock of the situation in Varanasi. Over 52 crore doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. National recovery rate stands at 97.45%. And in cricket, second test match between India and England to be played in London from tomorrow. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is going on, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact the national helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that when the country is set to celebrate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, the vision to realize the dream of building an Atmanirbhar Bharat also lies on the shoulders of the industry leaders. The Prime Minister was addressing the Confederation of Indian Industry CII annual meeting this evening through video conferencing.
आत्मनिर्भर भारत अभियान की सफलता का बहुत बड़ा दायित्व भारतीय उद्योगों पर है और मैं आप लोगों से कहना चाहता हूं कि सरकार आपके साथ है, आपके हर प्रयास के साथ है। आज देश में विकास के प्रति जो वातावरण बना है, अपने सामर्थ्य के प्रति जो विश्वास बना है, भारतीय उद्योग जगत को उसका पूरा लाभ उठाना चाहिए।
Mr. Modi said, even during such unprecedented times of COVID-19, the country is witnessing how industry and government can work hand in hand.
सरकार और भारत के उद्योग जगत की साझेदारी को मजबूत होते भी देख रहे हैं। मास्क, पीपीई, वेंटिलेटर से लेकर टीकाकरण तक देश को जो भी जरूरत पड़ी, जब भी जरूरत पड़ी, इंडस्ट्री ने आगे बढ़कर हर संभव योगदान दिया।
Mr. Modi said India, which was once apprehensive of foreign investment, is today welcoming every type of investment. He said India is receiving record FDI because of reforms done in last few years.
आज का नया भारत नई दुनिया के साथ चलने के लिए तैयार है, तत्पर है। जो भारत कभी विदेशी निवेश से आशंकित था, आज वो हर प्रकार के निवेश का स्वागत कर रहा है। जिस भारत की टैक्स से जुड़ी नीतियों से कभी निवेशकों में निराशा फैल जाती थी, आज उसी भारत में दुनिया का सबसे कॉम्पिटिटिव कॉर्पोरेट टैक्स है और फेसलेस टैक्स सिस्टम भी है। जिस भारत में दस्तावेजों में, कागजों में, कानूनों में उलझाना ब्यूरोक्रेसी की पहचान माना जाता था, वहीं आज ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस रैंक में बड़ी छलांग लगा रहा है।
The Prime Minister said during the monsoon session of Parliament, many important bills were passed. Mr. Modi said the Factoring Regulation Amendment Bill will help small businesses get credit facilities. The Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation Amendment Bill will also protect the rights of small depositors. The Prime Minister said the youth is filled with confidence as seen at the Tokyo Olympics, and it shows that they are ready to set higher goals and work towards achieving them. He added that the investor response has been tremendous for startups, and this signals that India has extraordinary opportunities for growth. Mr. Modi said the agriculture sector was once considered to be just a medium of livelihood, but now efforts are being made to connect Indian farmers with the domestic and global markets through historic reforms in the agriculture sector.
जहाँ कभी कृषि को सिर्फ गुजारे का माध्यम माना जाता, वहीं अब कृषि में ऐतिहासिक रिफॉर्म्स के जरिए भारतीय किसानों के देश विदेश के मार्केट से सीधे जोड़ने का प्रयास हो रहा है.
The Prime Minister said the government not only implemented GST, but today the country is witnessing a record GST collection. He said by rectifying the mistakes of the past, the government did away with the retrospective taxation. The Prime Minister said the initiative will strengthen the trust between the government and the industry. Mr. Modi said he has and will always be ready to solve the challenges of the industry and be open to their suggestions. The theme of the meeting is India at 75, Government and Business Working Together for Atmanirbhar Bharat. The CII Annual Meeting 2021 will be held over 2 days. Singapore's Deputy Prime Minister and Coordinating Minister for Economic Policies, Heng Swee Keat, will address as special international guest speaker. The event will also have the participation of many ministers, senior officials, academics and prominent representatives of the Indian industry.
Addressing CII's annual meeting, Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari stressed on the importance of time-bound, transparent and fast decision-making for infrastructure development. Mr. Gadkari said due to collective team spirit and contribution from all the stakeholders, even in the COVID pandemic, good results could be achieved.
Both the Houses of Parliament were adjourned sine die today after passing several important bills. With this, the monsoon session comes to an end today. First, the Lok Sabha was adjourned sine die, and then after completing the scheduled business, the Rajya Sabha was adjourned sine die today. The monsoon session of Parliament began on the 19th of July, which was scheduled till the 13th of August. Now, here is a review of proceedings in Parliament today. First from Rajya Sabha. The writer is Sanjeev Chopra of PTI. Parliament has passed the Constitution 127th Amendment Bill 2021 with the Rajya Sabha approving it today. It was passed by the Lok Sabha yesterday. The bill is aimed at restoring the powers of the states to have their own lists of other backward classes, OBCs, for reservation in jobs and educational institutions. In the Rajya Sabha, the bill was adopted after a division vote with 187 members voting in favour and no member voting against it. Some amendments moved by the opposition were negated by the upper house. The bill was taken up a little after 12 p.m. that ended the 3-week deadlock between the government and the opposition in the House over various issues. All parties backed the legislation but sought removal of the 50% cap on reservation, and many of them also called for a caste-based census. Taking up the bill, Social Justice and Empowerment Minister Dr. Virendra Kumar said it will help restore the powers of states to have their own list of OBCs. He thanked the Prime Minister Narendra Modi for bringing the bill and various parties and their members for evolving a consensus to take up the important bill that seeks to create history by providing reservation to OBCs in the country. The minister said this will help 671 communities, almost one-fifth of the total OBCs in the country, get reservation in jobs and educational institutions. He said through this consensus approach, we are moving towards creation of history in the future. Mr. Kumar said the Constitution Amendment Bill is among the series of steps taken for the welfare of OBCs and for providing them reservation. This amendment is necessary to restore the powers of states to have their own list of OBCs for providing reservation. He said the OBC lists of states were removed. Nearly 671 communities which were included in the state lists would not get the benefit of reservation in educational institutions and appointment of jobs. It would have affected one-fifth of the OBC communities. He said this bill will help restore the federal structure to help towards the welfare of other backward classes. This is the first time the House functioned normally, as opposition parties have been disrupting proceedings on several issues. Initiating the debate on the bill, Abhishek Singhvi of the Congress asked the government why it was quiet on holding a caste-based census. Mr. Singhvi said the exercise is needed because the quota for backward classes has exceeded the determined limits in many states. Sushil Kumar Modi of the BJP accused the Congress of not doing enough for the deprived sections of the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, despite being in power for decades. Ram Gopal Yadav of the Samajwadi Party said states will get the right to amend the list of OBCs, but you will reap out the maximum benefit of this amendment only when 50% cap and reservation is removed. He said that for providing benefit of this amendment to the deprived classes, a caste economic census is required, which would provide information about their education, kind of house, pakka or kacha, and other details required for making policies and schemes. Ramnath Thakur of the JDU also drew attention to the House towards vacant posts reserved for backward classes. Supporting the bill, he also stressed on the need for caste economic census for making right policies and timely action for upliftment of backward sections. Manoj Kumar Jha of the RJD supported the bill but demanded a caste economic census, saying figures are required for the purpose. He suggested removal of 50% cap and reservation, saying it is a hurdle in the way to uplift the deprived classes. Vandana Chauhan of the NCP, while supporting the bill, pointed towards the 50% cap and reservation, saying it is posing a challenge before states for providing benefits of larger sections of deprived classes. Sanjay Singh of the Aam Aadmi Party said if the government wants to do something for Dalits, then the 50% cap and reservation must be removed. Binoy Visham of the CPI questioned the sanctity of 50% cap and reservation and also said, let the states decide about this.
Elamaram of CPIM said that the government has brought this bill out of compulsion. He raised the issue of not covering Christian Dalits under reservation. Tiruchi Siva of DMK also made a case for removal of 50% cap on reservation and caste census. Derek O'Brien of DMK supported the bill and appealed that the Prime Minister should be present in the House during the discussion on the bill. Supporting the bill, Rajmani Patel of Congress questioned the intentions of the government in providing reservations, asking for a caste-based census. Harnath Singh Yadav of BJP said the bill will enable the states and union territories to help to create a loss of people backward from educational and social structure. Dr. Amar Pantnaik of BJD asked to whom will this reservation be given and to how many of them. M. Thambidurai of AIADMK said in Tamil Nadu, 69% reservation has been given for all communities of backward classes and scheduled classes, but it has not to be retained. Intervening in the discussion, Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan said, Parliament has given pass for everyone and there is no ambiguity in this bill and the government is committed to social justice. He said caste census in the country is a revolutionary process and several states have already extended the reservation on its basis. G.K. Vasan of TMC-M and nominated member Narendra Jadhav also supported the bill. A. Naveen Nathakrishnan of AIADMK also supported the bill, saying it seeks to strengthen federal structure of the country. P.V. Abdul Wahab of IUML, K. Ravindra Kumar of TDP, Balwinder Singh Bhundar of SAD, Ramji of BSP, Jaiprakash Nishad of BJP, Ramdas Athawale of RPI and Sambaji Raje Chhatrapati of BJP also participated in the discussion. Parliament also passed the General Insurance Businesses Nationalisation Amendment Bill 2021. The bill seeks to allow privatisation of state-run general insurance companies. The Parliament also passed the National Commission for Homeopathy Amendment Bill 2021 and the National Commission for Indian System of Medicine Amendment Bill 2021 with the Rajya Sabha approving it today. The Lok Sabha has already passed these bills. Earlier, when the House met for the day, Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu expressed concern over the conduct of opposition members in the House yesterday. He described the conduct of opposition members, some of whom alighted the table in the well and raised slogans as sacrilege of Parliament. He said he spent a sleepless night as he expressed deep anguish over the conduct of opposition members. Expressing distress over the ruckus created by the opposition members in the House yesterday, when a discussion on farmers' agitation against Farm Bill was taken up, he said he struggled to find a provocation or reason for such a law in the August House. As opposition members trooped into the well-raising slogans, Mr. Naidu adjourned the House till 12 noon. He observed that everything said or done violating, hurting or destroying the sacredness of any place amounts to an act of sacrilege. Later, the Rajya Sabha was adjourned sine die. And now, review of proceedings in Lok Sabha. In the Lok Sabha, when it met at 11 a.m., Speaker Om Birla condoled the death of former Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister Veerbhadra Singh, who was earlier Member of Parliament and a Minister at the centre. Obituary references were also made for the former members Nityananda Mishra from Odisha, Gopal Rao Maikar from Goa and Sudarshan Rao Chowdhury from West Bengal. Mr. Birla also gave an account of the business undertaken in the Lok Sabha during the session. Later, the Lok Sabha was adjourned sine die. That's all in the Parliament Review.
Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla today said he is hurt by the fact that the proceedings of the House did not take place as per expectations in this session. Speaking to reporters after the House was adjourned sine die, Mr. Birla said the House functioned for only 21 hours and 14 minutes. Out of the quorum of 96 working hours, work could not be done for 74 hours and 46 minutes. He said the total productivity was 22% and a total of 20 bills were passed, including the OBC bill, which was passed with the unanimous consent of all parties.
इस छठे सत्र के अंदर अपेक्षाओं के अनुरूप सदन का कामकाज नहीं हुआ, इसको लेकर मेरे मन में वेदना है। मेरी कोशिश रहती है सदन में अधिकतम कामकाज हो, विधायी कार्य भी हो, जनता से जुड़े मुद्दों पर भी चर्चा हो, माननीय सदस्य अपने अपने क्षेत्र की अपेक्षा और आकांक्षाओं को भी सदन के माध्यम से सरकार तक पहुंचाए ताकि उनके अभावों को दूर कर सकें। लेकिन इस बार लगातार गतिरोध रहा और ये गतिरोध समाप्त नहीं हो पाया।
Congress Lok Sabha Speaker Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, Lok Sabha Leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary today said that the Lok Sabha has been adjourned sine die as opposed to its scheduled date of August the 13th. Speaking to reporters outside Parliament, Mr. Chaudhary said the government took the sudden decision to adjourn it. Saying there was no discussion on important issues, Mr. Chaudhary alleged that the government wants to paint the opposition in bad light. He also said the centre passed bills without discussion, except for discussion on the OBC bill.
Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur today criticized the opposition over yesterday's unruly scenes in the Rajya Sabha. Talking to reporters outside the Parliament, Mr. Thakur said the incident of opposition members climbing on the table and throwing the files at the Rajya Sabha chair is shameful.
देश की जनता ने जिन्हें सांसद बनाकर भेजा है अपने मुद्दे उठाने के लिए, वो चर्चा में भाग ना लेकर चीर-फाड़ करने तक आए, फाइलें फेंकने तक आए, करोड़ों रुपए सदन के चलने के ऊपर खर्च किए जाते हैं और जब चर्चा होती है तो उसमें भाग ना लेना, ये अपने आप में दिखाता है कि क्या कर रहे हैं।
This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates from the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alert.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
Welcome back to the evening news. In Himachal Pradesh, at least 10 people were killed, 13 rescued and at least 25 people are feared trapped under debris in a landslide incident that occurred in Kinnaur district this afternoon. Several vehicles, including a Haridwar-bound Himachal Road Transport Corporation HRTC bus carrying over 25 passengers, are buried under the debris. Our correspondent reports that relief and rescue operations are being carried out to find the missing persons. We have a report.
According to the State Emergency Operations Center, around 25 to 30 people are still missing and buried under the debris in the incident that took place this afternoon at Negulsari in Nichar Tehsil of Kinnaur district. Many people are feared to be buried under the debris after the landslide hit HRTC bus, which was on its way from Rikongpiu to Haridwar. A few more vehicles were also stuck in the debris due to the massive landslide. 10 dead bodies have been recovered from the incident site so far. 13 persons, including the bus driver and conductor, have been rescued rescued and efforts were on to evacuate remaining people buried under the debris. All injured have been admitted at CHC Bhavnagar for medical treatment. Relief and rescue operation is being carried out by NDRF, police, ITBP and home guards in search of the trapped people. Heavy-duty earth remover machines have also been deployed to remove debris from the incident site. The search and rescue operation is likely to continue throughout the night. Chief Minister Jairam Thakur has expressed deep grief over the tragic incident. Sanjeev Sundariyal, AIR News, Shimla.
President Ramnath Kovind expressed grief over the loss of lives due to landslide in Himachal Pradesh. He expressed condolences to the bereaved families. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today spoke to Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh, Jairam Thakur, regarding the situation in the wake of the landslide in Kinnaur. The Prime Minister assured all possible support in the ongoing rescue operations. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur has said that he is pained to hear about the accident in Kinnaur due to landslide. Mr. Thakur also spoke to Chief Minister Jairam Thakur and discussed the current situation with him. He said local administration, state government and central teams are actively engaged in relief and rescue operations. The minister said every effort is being made to rescue those trapped under the rubble. He wished the injured a speedy recovery. Mr. Thakur expressed condolences to those who lost their lives in this accident. He said, may God give strength to the bereaved family.
Several areas of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar are facing the flood situation. India Meteorological Department, IMD, has said the current situation in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar is due to continuous rainfall activity over West Madhya Pradesh, East Rajasthan and South Uttar Pradesh. Director General of Meteorology in IMD, Dr. Mrityunjay Mahapatra, said this in an exclusive conversation with All India Radio News.
This increased rainfall activity over this region led to increase in river flow of the Gangetic system, including Yamuna. It has resulted into the flood situation in parts of UP and Bihar. But however, at present, there is significant decrease in rainfall activity over West MP, East Rajasthan and South Uttar Pradesh. But during next 5 days, we are expecting isolated heavy rainfall activity over East UP and heavy to very heavy rainfall activity over Bihar. Due to this, we can also expect the flood-like situation in certain pockets over East UP and Bihar region during next 5 days. There could be inundation of the low-lying areas, especially over Bihar, due to heavy to very heavy rainfall activity.
Meanwhile, relief and rescue operations are in full swing in flood-affected areas of the two states. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today took the stock of situation regarding the floods in his parliamentary constituency Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh. Talking to AIR News, Varanasi District Magistrate Kaushal Raj Sharma said the Prime Minister through telephone inquired from him about the flood situation in Varanasi. He asked about the resources available there and whether all help is being provided to the affected people. He asked whether NDRF and other agencies are working properly. Mr. Sharma informed that the Prime Minister has told him that if there is any problem, the district magistrate may directly call him and all possible help will be provided.
Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar conducted an aerial survey of flood-affected areas of the state today to assess the damage. Earlier, Mr. Kumar visited flood-affected areas of Patna to take stock of the situation. After the survey, Mr. Kumar held a review meeting with the district magistrates of affected districts and instructed them to step up the relief and rescue operations in affected areas of the state. The Chief Minister instructed officials to provide necessary support to the affected population without any delay. More than 52 crore COVID vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Union Health Ministry said more than 41,38,000 vaccine doses were administered in the last 24 hours. More than 40,000 patients recovered during the last 24 hours. The recovery rate stands at 97.45%. India reported over 38,000 new cases in the last 24 hours. 497 deaths have been reported in the last 24 hours.
Uttar Pradesh government has decided to give partial relaxation in the COVID restrictions prevailing in state on weekend. Now these restrictions will be applicable on Sunday only. Classes from 6 to 8 standard will also start from 1st of September. COVID-19 situation in the state is improving significantly day by day. We have a report.
The state government has decided that the shops and other institutions can open on Saturday also like the other weekdays. The COVID restrictions will be applicable only on Sunday now, although the night curfew will continue as usual in the state. The government has also allowed to open coaching institutes outside of the containment zone. The decision was taken in the wake of improvement in the COVID situation in the state. Meanwhile, 12 districts in the state have become coronavirus free. Only 27 new COVID cases have been found in the state in last 24 hours, while 59 districts of the state have not registered a single case of COVID infection. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Maharashtra Health Minister Rajesh Tope today informed that the state government has decided to allow hotels and restaurants to operate till 10 p.m. from 15th August. Currently, hotels and restaurants were allowed to operate till 4 p.m. He said that the decision was taken during the state cabinet meeting today. Malls have also been allowed to reopen at 50% capacity from 15th of August. Only people vaccinated with both doses will be allowed inside shopping malls. However, religious places, cinema halls, multiplexes and theatres will remain closed till further orders. The detailed SOP will be issued shortly.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in Atmanirbhar Nari Shakti Se Samvad and interact with women self-help group members and community resource persons promoted under the Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Rural Livelihoods Mission tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. During the event, a compendium of success stories of women self-help group members from all across the country, along with a handbook of universalization of farm livelihoods, will also be released by the Prime Minister. Mr. Modi will also release capitalization support funds to the tune of 1,625 crore rupees to over 4 lakh self-help groups. The News Services Division of All India Radio will bring an exclusive interview with Union Jal Shakti Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat on works and achievements of the Jal Shakti Ministry in the Spotlight programme. Laying down the vision and objective of Swachh Bharat Mission 2.0, the minister said the achievements of Swachh Bharat Mission were just a stepping stone towards the goal of complete cleanliness.
लक्ष्य तय किया था कि हम 2019 तक देश को खुले में शौच से मुक्त करेंगे। 2 अक्टूबर 2019 को गांधीनगर में जब देश ने प्रधानमंत्री जी की श्रीमुख से अपने आप को खुले में शौच से मुक्त ऐसा देश घोषित किया, प्रधानमंत्री ने एक नई अवधारणा देश के सामने रखी और अपने उद्बोधन में उन्होंने कहा कि बेशक हमने बहुत बड़ा लक्ष्य हासिल किया है, लेकिन ये हमारा अंतिम लक्ष्य नहीं है, ये एक पायदान मात्र है। हमारा लक्ष्य है संपूर्ण स्वच्छता की ओर अपने देश को लेकर के जाना।
The interview can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:15 onwards. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.com and our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You can also follow us on the News on AIR app for updates.
The second of the 5-match test series between India and England will be played in London from tomorrow. The two sides competed toe-to-toe before the 5th and the final day of the opening test match in Nottingham got washed out due to relentless rain on 8th of August. Both teams shared 4 points each from the drawn fixture and will be eyeing a win at Lord's to set the tone of the series. Match will start at 3:30 p.m. Indian time. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast from tomorrow. The national capital Delhi is likely to have partly cloudy sky. The temperature will vary between 26 and 36 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. In Chennai, temperature will vary between 27 and 36 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will observe a minimum temperature of 29 degrees Celsius and a maximum of around 35 degrees. Srinagar will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. In Jammu, the minimum temperature will be 26 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 36 degrees. Leh is expected to have partly cloudy sky. Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky. In Muzaffarabad, the minimum temperature will be 25 degrees Celsius and maximum will be around 37 degrees. Guwahati, Imphal, Shillong, Aizawl, Kohima and Itanagar will have generally cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunder showers. Gangtok will have generally cloudy sky with heavy rains. Agartala will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. In Port Blair, the temperature will vary between 25 and 29 degrees Celsius.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses the annual meeting of Confederation of Indian Industry, says major responsibility for success of self-reliant India lies in industries. Prime Minister asserts abolition of retrospective taxation will strengthen trust between government and industry. Both houses of parliament adjourn sine die. Monsoon session comes to an end. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla says proceedings of lower house did not take place as per expectations in this session. Parliament passes Constitution 127th Amendment Bill allowing states and UTs to prepare their own list of OBCs. Also passes General Insurance Business Nationalisation Amendment Bill. In Himachal Pradesh, 10 people killed, 13 rescued and at least 25 people feared trapped in a landslide in Kinnaur district. Relief and rescue operations are in full swing in flood-affected areas of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. Over 52 crore doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. National recovery rate stands at 97.45%. And in cricket, second test match between India and England to be played in London from tomorrow. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.